Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm proud to say that I love BET Plus Christmas movies.
I'm Dan and I despise BET Plus Christmas movies.
I'm Alonso, and you bet. And this
is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Actually, welcome for the first time
to our first ever
yes.
festive Friday.
We've never done a Christmas movie on Fridays.
Not
before.
Fridays, not around here.
This is new.
No.
I'm very excited to be kicking off Festive Fridays.
If you're tuned in right now thinking, I'm here to hear the boys and hear what they thought about 10-year-old action movies, you're in the wrong place.
You're in the wrong place. We do that.
We've moved that to Monday.
And you're out of Star Wars.
We're out of Star Wars.
Yes.
So now we're dealing with 30-year-old Mission Impossible.
That's
movies.
exactly right. That's exactly right. Guys, we are very strategic around here.
We are.
We have it all
There's a
mapped
master
out.
business
We got
plan.
it all mapped out. This is what the people are asking for, and not.
It's like changing the name of HBO Max to Max and then back to HBO Max.
That's
again.
right. I'm sure you'll end up back on Mondays. I
I
can
no
almost
doubt
guarantee it.
Mistletoe Mondays will make its return.
But we have, exhausted our theatrical Christmas movies from 2024 that we missed, or the bigger streamer ones, and so now we're
getting to the good stuff.
We're
as
getting to
Brand
the
would
good
say.
stuff.
Yeah.
We're getting to where I really shine, and I get really excited about these movies from the various channels and streamers that maybe aren't as popular or as mainstream as your Prime and your Netflix. And so today we're kicking off with Queens of Christmas from BET Plus. Very excited about that. Alonso, did you know anything about Queens of Christmas going into it?
I didn't. I certainly, recognize some of the folks in it, obviously.
Yes.
Essence Atkins popped up as the long-lost mom in the Noel Diaries on Netflix a couple years ago, which we reviewed. I've seen Vanessa Bell Calloway and Terry J. Vaughn in some different stuff. You were pointing out we've seen work from this director before.
Yes, we have seen work, and we've reviewed this director before on this here program. I'm excited though, but if without Sleepy Kitty Paws out there having a full list,
yes,
it's harder to find these type of movies. One of the big perks of the Sleepy Kitty Paws blog was the list.
Yes,
and
the exhaustive archive.
Exhaustive, and I don't know how they found them all. And so if you stumbled upon one last year that you think we should watch, it could be from a various streamer. It could have just been a direct to digital. Whatever it is, let us know, and we'll see if we can add it to the list.
Also want to shout out that Terry J. Vaughn is in this movie, who I used to watch the Steve Harvey Show fairly regularly as a kid. And she did a bit. She was a regular in that show. And when she laughed, it sounded just like Fran Drescher in The Nanny. It was the weirdest thing. So to see her speak without that voice was kind of wild. Just a wild experience. Sorry, back to you.
Brand does a great nanny laugh on Christmas morning.
Sounds like Trace doing The Nanny.
No. Trace
Totally
isn't here
different.
today. Trace is busy, actually.
Yeah.
She's busy today. She's
The Nanny con.
Let's talk about Queens of Christmas. It originally dropped on the BET Plus on December 19th, 2024. So right in the thick
Cutting
of
it close.
That's exactly
right,
right.
yeah.
And it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with what I believe is an original song for this BET Plus Christmas movie called Queens of Christmas. It's a bop. We open up with a dream sequence of Nancy being crowned the Queen of Christmas. Both Doris and Julia wake up, and they are suddenly apparently having the same dream. I'm not sure, but they are. This is an absolute nightmare. She cannot win again. Doris, Julia, and Nancy, they are all neighbors who compete in the local Christmas decorating competition, but Doris and Julia cannot stand Nancy. And it's not just the fact that she always wins. It's also stuff like only tipping $1 on a $300 hair job that Doris does for her, or then walking into Julia's bakery and announcing she's not going to be eating any baked goods because, she's not going to. She just wanted to walk in and say, I'm not going to eat any. Then comes some bad news. The church's annual Christmas pageant is canceled. Bishop Tony is just too tired to organize it this year. And you know he's tired because he falls asleep while standing up multiple times in this movie. Shout out Bishop Tony for the performance of the year. But their acting skills will not go to waste because director Patrick St. Thomas is coming to town to cast his upcoming movie. He's a big deal. He's a big deal. And apparently what he likes to do is go into small towns and find some untapped potential in different like churches and stuff like that. I don't know. But basically, here's how it works. If you get a golden ticket in your mailbox, that means you have been invited to audition for the movie. Doris, Julia, and Nancy all receive invitations. His assistant lets them all know that Mr. St. Thomas won't be judging solely on their acting abilities, but he's also looking for some genuine Christmas spirit. And so the battle begins. And I say battle because it becomes quite the fight. The women all start competing fiercely, which is exactly what Patrick St. Thomas wants to see. Eventually, Doris and Julia, they realize that they're tearing their families apart. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Their husbands, they are furious about what they are doing. This is a mess out here. Your kids, they're fighting us. We're not getting any attention. This is a mess. Patrick St. Thomas calls all three women in, Nancy included, and basically it turns out that Patrick St. James is this white guy who I guess gets a weird thrill from watching black women argue. I'm not sure. It's not great. Doris and Julia walk away from the project. Nancy is given the opportunity to get the role, and she turns it down to Solidarity Baby. And in the end, the three women, they reconcile, they become close friends, and they celebrate Christmas together, families all together. And that, my friends, was the Queens of Christmas.
We did it.
Yes, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll break down Queens of Christmas here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark. We're talking about Queens of Christmas today, the 2024 BET Plus movie. We're going to share our thoughts on it, our hot takes, if you will, and we will. I'm going to start with you, Alonso. What do you think, Queens of Christmas?
There is a kernel of an idea here about, about rivalry and like losing sight of what matters during the holidays and stuff. But it's like the movie starts out with the idea that like Nancy is, this like big phony and must be taken down. But then it also turns out that Doris and Julia have this long-standing beef between the two of them as well. So you think they're going to be a unified front, but no. Actually, their mothers had a big fight, and now it has carried over into them, and now it's going to carry over into another generation because their daughters are getting all into it. The movie is trying to critique the Tyler Perry school of film and television, but then it kind of undercuts it by making the Tyler Perry figure a white guy and sort of like turning that into a different kind of exploitation. And then the weird thing is that the movie is trying to say, we don't like how so much media portrays black women as arguing all the time. Right. And this is the movie about black women arguing all the time. Mm-hmm. So it kind of wants to have its trifle and eat it too. And I don't think it really gets away with that.
You said had its trifle and eat it too while we were watching this.
100% I said that.
Did y'all not notice the trifle moment in the bakery? That was going to be one of my wait what's.
I did not.
No.
Oh, so she is trying to convince this customer to try her holiday treats. And she keeps saying, I have this holiday trifle, and it's not a trifle, it's not a truffle, it's a trifle, and it's a cupcake.
That might be why the bakery's failing.
Also, probably, right? I just thought it was something I didn't know.
No. It was a joke. Just a shout out to the movie.
Turns out it was a great shout out. My bad.
So, to your point, Alonso, if the point of this movie is to make me, the viewer, feel bad for wishing that this movie was just about these women fighting, I guess mission accomplished, because that is what I would have like. The first half of this movie, I'm really enjoying and I'm having fun, and then this weird thing
Then it
happens
wants
where
to make a statement.
they
about
bring in
something.
this
Yeah.
white director, and it's
Not
about
since Funny Games has the movie made you feel this guilty for enjoying what it is.
and it's like this, like
Which
really,
version though, Alonso?
like
Either one.
Yeah,
The
that's fair.
subtitles, not same deal.
Yeah.
like the message of using racial stereotypes for profit and entertainment is a fine message to have in the movie, but it's also really like it came in late and it caught me by surprise, and then I felt bad because I really enjoyed the first half of this movie, which is the point of the movie, is not to make the movies like the first part of the movie.
Get your own house in order, Queens of Christmas.
Yeah,
right,
so
yeah.
I very conflicted because the first half of this movie, I actually had a really, really good time. I enjoyed the performances. I thought I just thought that this was a Christmas decorating competition movie, and then to find out that it's not that, it's barely that, was news to me, and I was confused as to how to feel, because I do think that there's a quite fun movie to be found in this movie, and then I feel bad for thinking it's a fun movie. So that's where I'm at with Queens of Christmas. Dano?
Yeah, I feel like if they had made the first half of this movie like a more like spoofy, like Christmas movie Christmas, but like for this particular neighborhood, and they really would have made it very satirical and biting, I think they could have turned around and made the message hit a little harder, because the message of like a culture that remains in trauma, not ever succeeding because the trauma is entertainment for those outside of it, is a good message. It's a little muddled here. It's a little muddled here because the first half of this movie does appeal to people like Bran. And I'm not saying people like Bran like a white guy. I'm saying people like Bran, like, give him the Christmas movies.
I get it, brother.
And so the problem is they make, there's a lot of low budget Christmas movies out there. They make the first half of this just good enough to where you're wondering what's the ending that I'm supposed to want in this movie? Is it for them to all, hug and move past it, for them to for somebody else to win the contest, for them
Mutually
to all,
assured destruction.
yeah, for them to make their own movie that's better than this guy's movie. And, I just, the whole time that the guy, you hear the director, and actually we keep saying half the movie, the reveal that this guy's white isn't until probably the last 20% of this movie.
Yep.
But you hear him talking throughout the movie off screen, and it's like he's so clearly going to be a white guy. Like, at least in my estimation, I kept going, I know what's going on here. This is Tyler Perry, but then it's going to turn out that he's white. Like, that was the thing. Because early in the movie, I'm like, this is an interesting way to get mad at Tyler Perry about, which is Tyler Perry contains its own multitudes.
And who has made television for BET.
That's right. Yes. So it was a very weird cross-pollination of message. How about that? and so I just, but there's enough silly bits in this. Like, this movie's not good. Just make no mistake, it is a bad movie, but it is Bran's kind of bad. And when you have like the narcoleptic bishop, Bran wanted that to be all movie. He was laughing like he'd never seen a comedy before. And so
They only do it 2 times. You got a perfect bit and you only go to 2 times.
And so it just seems a little disjointed to be this much of a message movie when what has preceded it is kind of stands on its own as entertaining. So there's that.
It's time for...
And that's 2 white guys telling you they like the first half. Queens of Christmas.
That's right.
I think we're going to direct one.
It's time for all the feels. We're talking about what this movie gave us feels. Alonso.
I did want to ask you guys, because I liked this joke, but it seemed very generational. Do you know who Marla Gibbs and Janae Dubois are?
Not even a little bit.
Lord, no.
Okay. Marla Gibbs played Florence, the wisecracking maid on The Jeffersons.
Okay.
Which was a TV show. And Janae...
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
where do I
Listen,
start with you people?
Given my history,
Fair.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then Jeanne Dubois played Walona, the wisecracking, like single lady neighbor on the sitcom Good Times.
Another show that I am definitely familiar with. Brandy, you know that?
I do know Good Times.
Good Times. It was a Norman Lear show,
Yes.
but you know,
Was Bonnie Badilla in either of those?
She was not. Maybe she guessed it. I don't know. But anyway, I love the idea that their aspirations for stardom was like not to be the next Angela Bassett, but to be the next Jeanne Dubois.
That's funny.
That made me laugh. Yeah, no, I have, and I did like the light. Well, no, that's actually a wait what. I'm going to come back to that. I have a ton of wait what. I didn't have a ton of feels. Sorry.
Listen, Bishop Tony is my all the feels, my way what, and the what the hallmark. So this isn't going to be the last time you hear about Bishop Tony.
Narcolepsy, it's hilarious.
Bishop Tony, though, the first time they did the sleeping pit, I couldn't believe it, and I laughed harder than
They stole Freeze Boy.
They stole Freeze Boy. Freeze Boy. But
And
imagine Freeze Boy.
They did it better though.
with the slumber music over. Na, na, na.
Yeah, the lullaby.
Yes, the lullaby. Is it low hanging comedy fruit? Lord, yes. Did it work for Brian?
I did like the "Why are you yelling at me?"
Yes.
comeback. That was good.
I loved it. Dano?
The line in this movie that is my favorite line is, "You damn sure won't find pimpin' Santa in a store." I love that line. I love it. I love it.
Sure won't.
He was asked to make a Santa, and he made a Santa that is a pimp.
It's Pimpin' Santa.
He was proud of it, and he said that's because you're not going to find it in a store. So kudos to that guy. I love it.
I love it. I did.
And that's how you win these competitions.
That's how
That's
you
right.
win them. That's right. And we never see Pimpin' Santa out and about.
No.
I don't think. I think it never leaves the shed,
Never.
and that's unfortunate. He did a lot of work for it to just stay in the
It's a
shed.
loss for us all.
Well, that's what he's partly what he's mad about.
That is.
Let's get to the way what. I'm sorry. Let's take a break and then we'll come back
Yes.
and we'll get to the way what here on Deck the Hallmark. I'm all out of sorts. It's Friday.
That's the problem.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking about Queens of Christmas today. Let's get to the way what. It's where we talk about what in this movie made us go way what. I'll start with you, Alonso.
Okay, this is a thing that we will catch sometimes, and it's just a thing that happens where you have to wonder, was this line written or did they just not do a second take?
Oh, I can't wait because it might be mine.
So there's a handful of these. First of all, when at the beginning of the film, when the woman, after doing Nancy's hair, she says, "I gave you more extensions than Christmas lights."
I brought this up. I think what they're
You
getting
didn't
at,
give her any Christmas lights,
Yes.
so yes.
I think it's like there's so many, like when you're putting up Christmas lights, you use a lot of extension cords.
Oh,
And
I thought
she
it was like,
put-
I gave you more extensions than you have Christmas lights on your house or something, but it just,
Yes,
As
no,
is.
it wasn't a good line.
It was a weird way to be like, we got to put Christmas in this scene.
Yeah, I think that's what it meant, but I don't know for sure.
then later, somebody talks about is throwing shade on the neighbor's house and says it's a paint by paint numbers decoration.
It's paint by paint numbers. Yeah. It's paint by paint numbers.
So
That'll get
close.
you. Alonso, you missed. That's up there with the Paul Green movie, the hot air balloon movie.
Oh.
He buys a bunch of hatch green chilies and he says, "Thank you. I'm going to give you some money now." I think it was so clearly supposed to be B-roll of him. And he says Paul Green in the movie, the cut that we got on Hallmark says, "Thank you. I'm going to give you some money now."
I'm going to give you some money now.
It's a
paint by paint numbers.
It's a paint by paint numbers situation.
Paint by paint numbers decoration. At the end of the movie, the friend of the daughters says, I hear the bakery is fully in the green.
Yes, fully in the green.
The expression is actually fully in the black.
It's fully in the black. That's
and
right.
That is not like a racial slur. It's a reference to ink.
He's fully in the green.
That's fully in the. Yeah.
At Christmas time, you use red and green. That's what you
I-
use. At
clearly,
Christmas
yeah,
time.
Red and
I
the
guess.
green.
That's what you use.
Now-
Fully in the green.
Let's talk about this bakery.
Oh my
'cause
God.
As I mentioned, the one scene that we see with her with a customer, she's screaming about a trifle.
Yeah.
And I can't blame the customer who doesn't get to speak for like running out terrified. But the idea that they have no business at all right before the holidays and that the magic bullet is to go vegan that will, and that's going to like instantaneously like create enough orders to like, save the place. Just all dotted with wait what for me. I didn't buy any of that.
I also would say, like, my wife can't have dairy, and so I the one area where you can hide vegan is in baking.
Sure, no, I've had some vegan donuts that are great,
but like it's like a vegan meat tough for me. There's some other vegan things tough, but like vegan cake, it just tastes just as good. Like it literally, there's no difference, and they are acting like this is revolutionary and also
unprecedented.
The idea that I won't even try it. That butter just has olive oil in it because olive oil is so healthy. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
I believe. Like, these are some old school characters in terms of like their motivations and whatnot. But
crazy.
It's just as a like the community was clamoring for this. You know,
everybody was waiting for those vegan donuts to hit.
Especially because we're told repeatedly this is a small town, that's why not Tyler Perry wants to like, recruit them, is because he's looking for talent outside of the mainstream. But I think my big takeaway here is like, do we even need Nancy as a character? If there's going to be a big rivalry between Julia and Doris, then couldn't Julia and Doris just be rivals and then make up at the end of the movie?
Great
like,
point.
Why is Nancy even here?
It's fair. I mean, first, none of these houses are winning a Christmas light competition.
Not on your best.
They're all so bad, and I hate that for the movie and for us. At one point, the guy, the bakery owner, him and his wife, they're talking, and he stands up and he says, "It's time to go make the donuts." And this is before you find out that they own a bakery, so that line was confusing to begin with.
Yeah,
but then you find out.
Dave and I say it all the time.
Yeah,
and we don't make donuts at all.
Time to go make the donuts.
Time to go
but
make
then
the
you
donuts.
find out, they do own a bakery. That does make sense. But it doesn't when you realize it was daylight outside.
Broad daylight.
Like the bakery owners that go and they make the donuts, they are up at 3 a.m. They have those suckers done before daylight. But it's
wait. Do you guys know the root of that, where that expression comes from?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Dunkin' Donuts back in the day, before they just shipped frozen donuts to all of their locations and they got microwaved and were terrible donuts.
They're awful donuts.
The individual Dunkin' Donuts locations used to make their own donuts on the premises.
Wow.
And they had a long running series of commercials where this guy with like a big mustache would be getting out of bed in the middle of the night appropriately and saying, "Gotta go make the donuts, gotta go make the donuts." Like that was the tagline of the commercial. So that's what he's quoting. And whenever Dave and I have some task that we don't want to deal with, we will say, "Gotta go make the donuts."
So this movie is just referencing a lot of things from 30 or 40 years ago.
Clearly,
That's what I'm learning, is that this movie is not going to pander to anyone under 55.
If you ain't Gen X, you ain't ish here.
That's exactly right. That's crazy. You would explain that at least to some of us watching, please. I mean, I'm 41. I'm not 14.
So do you think he did
crazy?
So did he not actually have to go make the donuts?
No, I think those were.
I think it was an expression, but you're right though. But this is the thing that drives Dave crazy about all of the Hannah Swenson movies, is that somebody needs to be at that bakery in the middle of the night
that's true.
for them to open at 7 or whatever with like brioche ready to go.
Yeah. Another thing that they do during the day that you wouldn't do is judge the Christmas displays. They announce, they give the trophy out for the winner in the middle of the day. Like they went and they judged the lights during the day.
Is that your last one?
No, I have one more.
Okay. Just put a pin in that because I have a theory on that.
My last one is
I do too.
A lot of conversations between, I believe it's Doris and her husband, happen in his workshop, which I do believe has black mold on the walls.
Yes,
there
in the
is
background.
there is like a sheet on the wall that just has a big. It looks like black mold on it.
Yes,
and I'm very concerned for their health and why are they having all of
they
their
had a big family
meeting. Big meetings. Just look at it. Go back and look at the wall back there. I'm very concerned about that. Dan?
Yeah. So my theory is they shot this whole movie during daytime. Literally, they shot it all. They literally were like, so our days are like 8 to 4 or 8 to 5, and then we go home at night. And having been on a film set, the least attractive thing about the film set is they usually start at noon and they go to midnight. It's 12-hour days, and then they sleep in, and then that's their schedule. This movie clearly was shot in all daylight because there are so many scenes happening in the daylight that they have no business doing in the day. The decoration judging is happening during the day. That's crazy. The owners of the bakery waking up during the daylight, waking up on a day where their bakery is open. Crazy. This guy is trying to romance his wife on a weekday at 2 PM, and she has stuff to do. Like, she is working like full time and comes home to grab something, and he's got like rose petals all over the bed and champagne, and he's like, how come you don't have any time for me? He's like, it's Wednesday at 2 PM. Like, the whole movie, it just has daylight throughout it.
We used to have sexy time midday all the time.
That's right.
Afternoon delight.
Afternoon delights.
Yeah.
What is it? Not, and now you got me thinking. Was it nighttime when they go to the tree farm?
There is a scene when they do see the folks grabbing the last tree, and I think it is nighttime there. I think that is the
so
one.
that might be it.
And we do see what's her name's display one night where it's like really going nuts. We see that.
Yeah, see, I think they did the judgment during the day so as not to accentuate the fact that all the lighting was kind of garbage.
It was so bad. Here's the thing: is Nancy's supposed to be the bad guy in this movie? Her house does have the best decoration. She should win,
and she has the best house. It's a beautiful house.
But also, Nancy has decorated her yard to the nines in quotes. But she has one tree, giant tree. It has one ornament ball in it. So they have taken one glittery ornament ball and hung it in a ginormous tree. It is the weirdest thing. And I spotted it immediately. I'm like, why would they do that? Just take it down so it doesn't look so awful. And Bran goes, maybe she's still decorating. Later in the movie, it'll be all done. No. One ornament ball. The tree is massive, and it's got one ornament in it. It looks so bad. You got to check it out. There is a church service in this movie, and I use that in the lightest possible way. For the majority of that scene, I was convincing myself that this was some sort of weird business meeting, but it was not. This is a Sunday morning service, and whomever made this movie, they had no extras. None. They have all 6 primary principal actors, and there are 2 other people. Church could fit 400. There are 8 people, 8 in the pews, 8 total parishioners in the whole church. I've never seen anything like it.
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that Bishop Tony keeps falling asleep during his preaching?
Could have something to do with it.
Filling up the pews.
Could have something to do with it.
People aren't lining up to see him fall
It's
asleep.
a scathing commentary on the secularization of the holiday season.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Put the Christ back in Christmas. You said it.
You said it.
At one point, somebody says, my art is merely shedding a mirror on it instead of, I think, shining or showing a mirror. I don't know why you would shed a mirror on it.
Is that
also,
from some old Dunkin' Donuts commercial?
Not offhand.
I Googled it. I Googled, is this a phrase? My art is merely shedding a mirror. And even Google was like, nah, kid, that's ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing. Shedding a mirror? What are we doing? Are we mirror snakes? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So that was...
Google asked him if he had a concussion.
That's right. Yeah. Are you okay?
Good.
And then at one point, the husband bakery owner says, I don't know how we can make less than a 0 profit. I do. There's so many businesses that do it every day. Some people make billions of dollars by having less than a 0 profit. There are so many ways to make less than a 0 profit. And you don't know how? Have you seen the nun customers that come through your door? Have you seen the nun customers? You've sold a muffin in 3 days, buddy. You're not in the green or the black. You're not in any of them. What do you mean you don't know how? Do you not know just basic math? Come on, man. That's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark is. Where we wonder what could have been. Maybe haven't got to clear any questions we still have. What are we still wondering about? That's what we're talking about now. Alonso.
I am just worried that we're going to get a sequel that's going to be about the daughters fighting over the hot guy at the end of the movie. And while he was indeed hot, I do not wish to see that.
Fair. Yeah, listen, I'm concerned about my guy, Bishop Tony. It's
Is he driving?
It is definitely concerning to see him fall asleep
Does
while
he not
standing up.
know?
I don't know. That's
Does he
the
not
thing.
know that he has narcolepsy?
I don't know. I don't know. And everyone just kind of acts like, yeah, there he is again. I'm very concerned about him for so many reasons, and I just hope that he gets the help that he needs. Dan?
I do want to know when they filmed the movie, because it is a weird combo where there are not any leaves on the trees, but the grass is still like lush green. And my guess is somewhere in the South in late November, I guess. But it was a weird combo. Normally we can just tell, man, it's hot as Hades out there, and they're just trying to make this didn't have that feel, but also it clearly wasn't Christmas time yet. And they didn't even try with like snow or anything. So I would be curious as to when they filmed and where they filmed the movie, for that matter. That's all I got.
Go. We did it, everybody. Congratulations to us.
Hey.
We're going to be back next Friday with the OWN movie from 2024, 24 Karat Christmas.
24
Karat Christmas. So coming back next Friday for that. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.